Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Flagrant Talk Sports Podcast, solo edition again, just me, Zay. And today I've got another bracketology video for y'all. Big changes. Today was insane, massive upsets, lots of movement, specifically on that bubble. We've had some seed lines move. So today, we're going to go through the bubble. We're going to go through all of the games that took place yesterday while also previewing all of the games today. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to touch on every single little game. I'm going to touch on, in particular, the games that really made an impact on March Madness and the bracket, which is revealed on Sunday, which I cannot believe. With that intro out of the way, one big thank you for all of the love on our latest videos. Videos is in plural. You guys have been amazing, feeling very blessed, and I know Moses feels that same way. This is just the beginning. We appreciate each and every one of you. We'll definitely bring this up again when Moses is here, but for me personally, it's been on my mind. It's been on my heart. Very thankful for every single one of you who likes, subscribes, tunes in, views it, shares it, whatever it may be. We are very thankful for y'all. With all of that out of the way, let's get started on this brand new bracketology video. So the way this video is going to be laid out, here is a quick little bracket watch. The top overall seed, first team out, you see all this. I will be using ESPN and Joe Lunardi's bracket, My GOAT. We will talk about this bubble. I'm going to come back to this point, but this is the new look bubble, freshly updated from Lunardi. We're going to spin back to this. For now, let's go through the games today. Big one here. Houston, their defense is the biggest takeaway, as per usual. Suffocated TCU. Watching this game was crazy. I don't think TCU scored their first basket until like 8 minutes in the game. It was like 14-0 Houston. Dominant performance. TCU still in the bracket. They will be okay. Big win for Houston. They're a 1 seed no matter what, no matter when they lose. Same for UConn, getting a win. Xavier season's done. UConn, a solidified 1 seed. Bam, signed, sealed, delivered. North Carolina, this is a big one. Lunardi, as of now, has moved North Carolina up to be that 4th and final 1 seed. Tennessee, which previously had that spot, dropped down to a 2 seed. It's going to be very interesting to see how this kind of plays out. I really like North Carolina's chances of winning the ACC. So it'll be interesting to see what Tennessee is able to do in the SEC. Final here, Arizona taking care of business, keeping their 1 seed hopes alive. Not sure how realistic it is, but they're at least alive. Kansas State with the loss here. They were climbing up in the bubble, probably ends their season. Iowa State keeping their 2 seed hopes alive and well. Providence with a big win. We could take a look back here for Lunardi. What a massive victory in this game for Providence. Taking care of business, man. Just a dangerous team. He's moved them up to the first 4 out. A big victory. This also eliminates Creighton's chances of being a 2 seed, which in our previous bracketology, they were. When the bracket comes out, Creighton will be a 3 seed. Eliminated seasons. Villanova, your season is done. We didn't have a video up right after the DePaul debacle that Villanova had, only winning by 1. I believe they were favored by 24 points. That to me is a loss. They should not have made the tournament off that alone. I truly in my heart felt that Villanova needed to win the Big East to get in. They at least needed to win this game to get in. So this is the end of their season. Marquette keeping their 2 seed hopes alive. A nice win, again, without Tyler Kolek. A big storyline to follow in the coming weeks. Duke getting bounced by NC State. Are the Wolfpack going to be a bid stealer in the ACC? We don't know. As of now, Lunardi still has Duke as a 3 seed. I think that's probably how it will go. Obviously, no 2 seed there. 4 seed is their floor, but I think a 3 seed is kind of where the Blue Devils fit when the bracket is released. You had Cincinnati losing to Baylor. Cincinnati was trending up. They were starting to get closer and closer towards being in the tournament. Baylor ended that. Cincinnati now likely in the NIT. South Carolina taking care of business against Arkansas. Utah State in an OT one. This is a game I was tuned into as well. Losing a close one to Fresno State. You won, but you should have handled Fresno State better. I know the score is a 12-point victory, but you did go to overtime with them. 17 points in OT compared to 5 is impressive, though. Utah State still in the running to win the Mountain West. You had Texas Tech handling BYU. I've said it in previous videos. I think Texas Tech has immense upside. We know they're a solid defensive team. This is a program that kind of has prided themselves on that in recent seasons, and it's back again this year. I really like their scoring, though, as well. As for BYU, still a quality team, will be somewhere in that 5 to 6 seed range when the bracket is out. WSU taking care of business, still keeping their hopes alive of winning the Pac-12. That's great there. Colorado State defeating Nevada. They were already in the bracket, but now they're locked in. A big upset there. A very quality win. The Mountain West just continues to surprise. We'll spin back to that a little bit later, but what a crazy conference this season. The A10, this right here is a big game. If you're a bubble team, if you're a fan of a bubble team, anything like that, this game has heavy implications. The A10 now is officially a 2-bid conference. We don't know who that second bid will be. Dayton will, without a doubt, be in the bracket, likely in an 8-9 game. Potentially would fall to a 10 seed, but I feel like an 8-9 game is kind of where they'll be at. And what a crazy outcome here. So yeah, the A10 will have 2 bids in their conference. Scrolling through this, Toledo got upset. They were the 1 seed in the MAC, losing to Kent State. So we'll see how that plays out. Richmond, who I had predicted to win the A10, fell short. This likely ends their season and any chance of being a team in the bracket. Michigan State with a victory over Minnesota today locked them in the bracket. Michigan State and the Spartans will be in. Yikes. I mean, it's always hard to know what to do with a Tom Izzo-led team. It's going to be that same way again this year when you're filling out your bracket. Mississippi State taking care of business. I believe they were on a 4-game losing streak. Get back in the win column here. Quality win there. VCU. There was someone in the comments of a couple of videos ago. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but I do remember they asked on our conference video, do you think that VCU can win the A10? And I said, absolutely. They have great guard play. That hope is very much alive, defeating UMass today by 14. So a very quality win there. You had Wisconsin thumping Maryland, taking care of business. St. John's, a team I've been talking about now for weeks, beating Seton Hall. Now, to me, as Moses and I talked about, comfortably in the field. A big victory for them. Seton Hall hanging on. If they do make the tournament, they will have to play a first 4 game. There's no way around it to me. I would be shocked if that wasn't the case. And that's assuming they get in. So we'll see how that goes. Wichita State with a massive upset over Memphis. This ends Memphis' season. No tournament for them. Lunardi had Memphis sitting on the bubble for the past couple of weeks. At least our last couple of videos, and I didn't really understand because I felt like they had to win their conference. Obviously, that didn't happen. Memphis will not be dancing. Speaking of not dancing, Wake Forest, a team I was high on, that sadly just couldn't string enough quality wins together after that big Duke upset. Losing to Pitt, Wake Forest season is done. No dancing for them. Pitt keeping their season alive and well. You have Akron, who I believe is still the 1 seed in the MAC, staying alive. It's a small storyline. St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies, keeping their season alive. Could they be the team that comes out of the A10 and makes it a 2-bid league? We will see. End of the season for the Fighting Sister Jeans. Heart is broken. Oregon continuing to win, continuing to keep their hopes alive. I was kind of like oddly feeling like UCLA could shock us again and win the Pac-12. That obviously is not the case. Big victory. This was a game I was watching as well for San Diego State. I'll be totally honest with y'all. I wanted to see UNLV win the Mountain West. I know Moses is a Boise State Bronco. Between you and I wanted to see UNLV win this. That is not happening, though. San Diego State taking care of business. UNLV played some great ball to end the season. Sadly, just not great enough to get in. You have a big game here. 2 bubble teams that faced off, Ohio State and Iowa. Iowa now is done. Their chances of dancing are over. Ohio State on the bubble officially. Who would have thought like 2 months ago that those words would be coming out of anybody's mouth? So congrats to the Buckeyes. You got to keep winning, though, in the Big Ten. Let's see. Other wins here. Ole Miss's season done. Kind of felt that way already. They were on the bubble for a while, played really crappily down the stretch. That's it for them. Texas A&M, though, now in the bracket according to Lunardi. We'll get back to that, but a nice victory there over Ole Miss. Let's see what else we got here. Indiana beating Penn State is nice. Yeah. Virginia taking care of Boston College in overtime. They are a bubble team, a team that's probably going to have to play a first 4 game. Staying alive, though. Could they win the ACC? I think if Virginia wins the ACC, they are in. They won't have to play a first 4 game. If they lose anything, I feel pretty good at this point that they've done enough to be in the field. Now it just comes down to, will you have to play a first 4 game or not? You had Florida winning one that was a little closer than it maybe should have been against Georgia, but a win is a win. Biggest boomer bust team in the bracket. You have Colorado, the Buffaloes. I have said it. I've been high on this team for weeks. I think they could do some serious damage, and they are doing a very good job at keeping their hopes alive when it comes to dancing. The Buffaloes with a nice win over Utah. And to wrap today up, Moses, I got off the phone with him before recording. Tough loss, my brother. Tough loss. Boise State will be in the field. Will likely have to play in an 8-9 game again for another season. That's okay, though. They just got to notch a win in March. As for New Mexico, if they aren't in the field yet, they're doing a damn good job at playing themselves in. This was a must-win game for New Mexico, and they did just that. So those are all of the games from yesterday. Now we can move on to the games for today. Starting us off with a bang. We got the Spartans against Purdue. If Purdue loses, oh well, you're fine. You're still the 1 seed, and you're going to play in the region you want. The Spartans trying to move up in the bracket have played themselves out of the first 4 in. I feel like have played themselves in the field comfortably now. But a good game nonetheless. Mississippi State and Tennessee. If Tennessee wants to keep their 1 seed hopes alive, they have to win the SEC. Mississippi State trying to notch another good victory, continue to solidify themselves into the field. South Florida, a good game here. I feel like they have to win their conference. It's a tough spot to be in. You got to beat East Carolina. That's for damn sure. Get a good game here of Wisconsin and Northwestern, 2 tournament teams duking it out. Worth noting, there is no championship game today upon recording. So if you feel like, hey, if you're like me, where you tune into every championship game so you can see every team, take a deep breath. You just got some really good hoops to enjoy today instead. Obviously, I have semifinals and things like that, but no championship games. You get some solid semifinal games here. A nice quarterfinal for Wichita State, coming off an upset victory over Memphis. Big game here between two ranked opponents in the SEC with South Carolina and Auburn. Auburn is a team that I believe still only has one quad one victory. This would be a nice opportunity to notch a second. Two teams that could really use that little bump in their resume. That I think also both have the ability to make the second weekend. So a fun game there. Worth noting that all of these games, the best part is the longer they go on, the better and better and better these matchups get. So we've got some awesome ones today. We then have St. John's and UConn. St. John's, to me, in the field. They're doing solid. Now, if they get this win, they are in. No last four in, no anything like that, no play in. Comfortably in the field when the bracket's released on Sunday. UConn, similar to what I said with Houston, similar to what I said with Purdue. All three of those teams are in the same spot. Whenever they lose, they're fine. They're a 1 seed locked up and will get the region they want. So worth putting out there. Ohio State, in order to continue the hope, in order to shock the basketball world, you have to be Illinois. Easier said than done. This Fighting Illini team, to me, is more than capable of going on a deep run, potentially Elite Eight type run. So you have to get a victory there if you're Ohio State. As for Illinois, just playing for seeding. Texas Tech and Houston should be an amazing game. Will be interesting to see how Houston responds, given how great their defense was against TCU, per usual. Texas Tech coming off a nice victory against BYU. Two very quality teams going at it. You have Pitt against North Carolina. North Carolina has to win the ACC, like I said, in order to get in as a 1 seed. A 1 seed. Worst case scenario for North Carolina is there too. Totally cool. But obviously, they want to get that one. As for Pittsburgh, if you win this, you're probably in. This would be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful win in your resume. And hell, at that point, they'd be in the ACC championship. They might be able to punch their ticket all on their own if they get this win. I'd probably pick Pittsburgh to win it if that was the case. So, interesting game there. Texas A&M. Let me go look at the bracket and see. Lunardi has them as the final team in the field. A win over Kentucky locks them. This is a big game. As for Kentucky, if they win the SEC, this was a discussion we had in the last video. If they win the SEC, they're able to beat a Tennessee. They're able to notch some of these victories. They could be looking at a 2 seed as well. So just a storyline to follow there. Oregon just got to keep winning. Arizona, if they want to keep their hopes alive for a 1, they got to win this game. Providence and Marquette. Tyler Kolek's probably not going to play again. I gotta check after this to see if he's coming back at all for the Big East tournament. If Providence gets a victory, they're still out. So this is a marquee victory, and I actually feel like this is the game Providence can win. I'm going out. I'm picking Providence to beat Marquette today. I love Marquette, but if Kolek's out, I really like this for Providence. Let's see. Indiana, Nebraska is a fun game, but could be a quality win there for Nebraska. It's about it. Baylor, Ohio State. Great, great, great game. Iowa State seemingly would clinch a 2 seed with this victory. As for Baylor, just playing to see if they can improve upon seeding. A lot of these really good games in terms of, implications, just improving seeding. There's no like real detriment if Iowa State lost to Baylor or vice versa. San Diego State and Utah State, man, that'll be a hell of a game. Going to the Mountain West Championship, one of these two teams, both deserving, having the ability to improve upon their resumes. Florida, Bama, good one. Two teams with boomer bust potential. I mean, just tune in, get your popcorn ready, get your snacks ready. This is a game. This is the game. Maybe the game of the day to enjoy, honestly. Colorado and WSU. Rubbing my hands like I'm Birdman, baby. Incredible game. If the Buffaloes win this, seemingly could clinch a spot in the bracket. Not 100%, but it would go a long way. WSU trying to improve upon some of their late season sliding. It hasn't been terrible, but just getting another victory could certainly help. I said it. I took back my Arizona pick from a couple of videos ago of them winning the Pac-12, and I said it would be Colorado. This win would get them in the championship. Just making note of that. The last really great game today, Colorado State versus New Mexico to go to the Mountain West Championship. Moses, I'm sorry. What a late start time as well. It's 9 o'clock my time, but I know for Moses, like Mountain time, starting at 10 at night. Damn. That is the wrap up on games, though. And now we look at the updated bubble. The last four byes, Michigan State, they're in. Mississippi State, seemingly in. They were able to snap the losing streak, get back in the win column. Feeling pretty good. Oklahoma, I'm pretty out on. I'm pretty out on Oklahoma at this point. You have St. John's with a great victory over Seton Hall. Hopefully able to avoid the last four in. If they notch a win today, they without a doubt will. Colorado and Seton Hall highlighting this last four in. If Colorado beats WSU, it would be hard to not have them in. Seton Hall season is done. All they can do is hope that the bubble is favorable to them. You have Virginia, who's still kicking, and Texas A&M, who are both still kicking as well. First four out, you have New Mexico. If they get one more win, particularly over Colorado State in the field, Indiana State, the people's champion, will they get in? Their season is done. That loss to Drake. It's going to come down to the committee. I believe an important note about Indiana State, a team with their net ranking, a net as high as they have, has never missed an NCAA tournament. Just worth noting there. Pittsburgh knocking off Wake Forest. Wake Forest is done. Staying in contention for a spot. Same with Providence with a big win over Creighton. Kansas State, they're out. Wake Forest, they're out. Villanova, they're out. So just clear those three right there. The only team to really pay attention to is Ohio State. See if they can continue winning games in a difficult conference. As for the updated bracket, you got a little movement. You got Dayton dropping, obviously. McNeese moving up to a 12, which I love. I think McNeese deserves a 12. I think 13 is too low for them. VCU, Lunardi has as the automatic qualifier. Any other big changes here? It doesn't look like it. We already addressed the rest in a previous video. You have WSU going up to a 5. They're still kicking in the Pac-12. If they win the Pac-12, they could be back to a 4. It would not surprise me. Just worth noting there. You have St. Mary's and St. John's. Man, that game would be awesome with Lunardi not having them as a play-in team, a solidified in the field 11 seed. And then you have Mississippi State moving up to a 10 seed. That win was so big. They just needed to weather the storm. As for the West region, there's the big one. North Carolina becoming the last one seed. FAU and TCU. I feel pretty good about FAU winning that. In terms of North Carolina, I don't know if they could do that. North Carolina is hot right now. They were a team I liked to go minimum second weekend or minimum to the next weekend, maybe Elite Eight. As of now, I could absolutely see them coming out with a championship this year. They're playing their best basketball right now. You have Nevada dropping. They were a 5 seed. They lost, dropped to a 6. I feel like a 6 is where they'll be when the bracket is out. South Dakota State up to a 15. Congrats to them. Everything else remaining the exact same. And then you get the South. Houston's little pod. Stetson, Mo and I's guys. Shout out Stetson, baby. Dangerous team. Dangerous team. Not to be trifled with. You have Colorado State moving up to a 9. I know they were a 10 for a while, so they're in an 8-9 matchup. God, I wouldn't want an 8-9 matchup with Houston next. I'll tell you that right now for either of those teams. Texas Tech moving up to a 6, absolutely deserved. I like this Texas Tech team a lot. Honestly, out of this, well, no, Tennessee is there, so never mind. But they could absolutely go Sweet 16. Creighton, he dropped it down to a 3. That's where they'll be. And then Tennessee, dropping from a 1 seed, which is what they had here, down to a 2. I still love Tennessee. They still have a chance at a 1 seed, as is North Carolina, as is Arizona, if you're looking to follow that. That is, holy crap, the end of the video. All of the stuff you need to know. I like recording these kind of videos, just keeping people up to speed, just letting them know what's going on in the tourney, what's going on in the bracket. I love filming these. That is the video for y'all. Thank you for tuning in yet again. Let us know some of the teams that you are following. Let us know some of the storylines you are following. We appreciate you for tuning in to yet another video. Song of the pod, though, because I forgot on my last solo. I'm getting it back. Flatbed Freestyle by Playboy Cardi. My goat. I was listening to Dial It again, and that's the song for the pod. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that all of y'all have a great weekend, and we are so close to a new bracket. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See y'all.